This civilization has spent trillions of dollars on unbacked computational overhead and compounding systemic risk, operating under a fundamental structural delusion. These systems are phenomenological. They model the symptoms of physical reality, statistical approximations, and historical engrams, rather than computing the underlying physics of the system. When an AI generates an output based on public tokens or interpolation, its inner state can drift. For a sovereign nation or a national lab, a model that hallucinates under adversarial injection has a utility of absolute zero. This matrix highlights the divide. Competitor trajectories rely on a scattering probability cloud that drifts from its axis. E8 resonant reality replaces the black box. We are moving from predicting reality under uncertainty to locking it into a verifiable continuum. UnityGrid replaces parameter tuning with hard, compile-time control laws. These are the strict mathematical gates that guarantee systemic supremacy. The first gate, systemic synchronization, locks real-world sensory networks to our digital substrate. The second, digital twin matching, forces error to near zero for greater precision. The final gate applies phase inversion to adversarial noise, converting it into raw processing power. If an optimization loop results in a negative coherence gain, a delta CK below zero, the core logic lock triggers, rejecting the transaction. Because the system treats entropy as raw compute fuel, UnityGrid can only expand. Computation becomes an inescapable property of the system's geometry. Standard AI companies are locked in a capital-intensive race, pouring billions into data centers to extract fractional returns from public internet data. UnityGrid utilizes a helical torsion cascade interference solver. Sensors sweep this topological manifold, balancing phase dualities and collapsing error fields within 28 microseconds. When systemic coherence passes the disruption threshold of 0.85, the network enters a superharmonic state. We call this a bloom event. The answer is not calculated through probabilistic guessing, it blooms out of the enforced geometry of the system. This allows the monoblock to operate 45,000 times faster than traditional variational architectures. The gap between a prediction and a real-world transformation is an energy leak, a vector where trust erodes and enterprise value dissolves. UnityGrid closes that gap. Every state-changing action passes through a cryptographic shield, minting a unique, hash-chained proof-of-process receipt that blocks raw authority from leaking back into the core logic. Institutional adoption begins with a phase-zero truth sprint. We take high-variance experimental datasets and return an audit-grade verdict with recomputable receipts within 14 days. This leads to the Phase 1 closure program, where an organization's entire data collection structure is locked into our frozen control logic via native CRM API hooks. This is the verification economy. It provides sovereign governments the mathematical tools to present court-grade proof of compliance while retaining domestic ownership of their ethical frameworks. We provide a machine-readable, cryptographically signed ledger of reality. The fields are aligned. The geometry is eternal.